Blessed is he that reads, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Guys, this YouTube channel is about the prophecy. It's about the book of Revelation. The book of Revelation is the revealing of Jesus Christ as King of the whole world. And this is an introduction to a playlist called The Lamb Opens the Seals. So first, we have covered the first 5 books of Revelation. It is the coronation of the king. Okay, that's what's going on. And we have the Lamb. The Lamb is the king. He's seated on the throne. Okay? Then, what happens is, in the right hand of the Father is a book, is a scroll. Nobody was worthy to look at the scroll. Okay? Only one was worthy. The one that was worthy is the Lamb. Only the Lamb is worthy to look at the book and to open the seals. So the seal is the book is bound. It cannot be opened. It cannot be read. It cannot be understood. But when the Lamb opens the seal, the book is open. The book is understood. Okay? Then there are 7 seals. There are 7 portions of the revelation of the book, of the scroll being released. And what's going on is he's king over the whole earth, and it's the release of all creation. This is called something called the kinsman redeemer. Okay? So we'll have a video as part of this playlist, the kinsman redeemer, which explains procedurally how that works to buy back, to redeem something. So then, the Lamb has authorization to open the book and open the seals. And what do we have? The first thing we have is 4 living creatures, lion, ox, man, eagle. Okay? Each one of those living creatures opens a seal. Okay? First seal, second seal, third seal, fourth seal. Each of those seals are horse riders. Okay? Now you'll see in this playlist, guys, you will not understand all this in this short video. You got to watch the playlist. You got to watch all these videos. Okay? But it starts with the Lamb open the seal. Now, when the Lamb opens the seal, it's the military order, okay? So you guys like the props, so I got props here. I'm going to put up each thing, so explain to you simply each what we're talking about. Here's an old World War II military helmet, all right? So what we have is we have these horse riders, okay? These are generals. These are the generals from the Lord of Hosts. It's not the devil. It's not the Antichrist. Stop teaching that. It's false teaching. The main minister of defense is Michael, the archangel. We see him in Revelation chapter 12, okay? So think of him as the minister of defense, the main leader of the Lord of Hosts army, okay? Now, after him are 4 generals, okay? Those 4 generals are the ones you see on the horses. You see them on chariots in Zechariah chapter 6. They have specific roles, okay? They're called the 4 carpenters. They're called the 4 horns, okay? We've got lots of other videos on this. We're just summarizing quickly what is going on right there. So the Lord of Hosts army is organized to bring judgments on the earth. That's who the horse riders are, okay? Now you can see when we do these videos, quite often we'll wear this shirt. Why? Because it represents the colors of the horses, which represent the order of the military. All this works in perfect conjunction. Lion, ox, man, eagle. White, red, black, pale. White, red, black, pale. Or spotted in Zechariah chapter 6. So that is what the Lamb is releasing on the earth. Judgments on the earth. Okay? Those are the first 4 seals. Now, after those seals, we come to seal number 5. Seal number 5 is an altar. Okay? So then you have an altar. And then you have those that are crying out from under the altar. Why? They've died for a witness and testimony of Jesus Christ. And they say, when will you avenge us of our blood? Not till the number of them is fulfilled. So the altar, we see, John is given a reed like unto rod to what? Measure the temple and the altar and those that worship therein. So, you measure the altar, you measure the temple, and what are you measuring? People. Okay, that's the fifth seal. Okay, then we get to the sixth seal. The sixth seal is in Revelation chapter 6, verse 12. And it continues into Revelation chapter 7 with the organization of the army, the first fruits army. The first fruits army is the 144,000. So, just like the 144,000 are assembled around the Lamb in Revelation chapter 14:1, they're also around the Lamb in Revelation chapter 6, verse 16. Why? Because you have the face of him that's on the throne, the Lamb. Okay? And now keep in mind there's no chapters when John wrote the book. He says, with this, John saw 4 angels standing at the 4 winds. 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth holding the 4 winds of the earth. Okay, that's his throne. Those are the 4 cherubim, lion, ox, man, eagle. Those are the 4 wheels around his throne that you see in Ezekiel chapter 1. Okay, we'll show you some graphics to illustrate this. That's what's going on in Revelation chapter 6. Into chapter 7 with the what? 6th seal. So when the Son of Man comes in the clouds, that's what it looks like. It's this order of the angels, okay? Because he comes in the power and the angels and the 4 winds. You see that in Matthew 24, verse 29. So this is the order of the military, understand? You got 4 horses, you got the 4 army generals, okay? You got the souls crying out from the altar, and then you got the 6th seal. Now, there's a lot more in the 6th seal. We can't cover it all. We have a whole playlist just dedicated to the 6th seal. Now, all of this, guys, can also be understood very simply as the revealing of Jesus Christ in the same manner on Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai, the Lord descended upon the mountain in power and great glory. When the Son of Man comes in the clouds, it's the same thing. Okay, the tribes of the earth mourn, etc. So, the revealing of Jesus Christ is all these types of patterns in the Old Testament being fulfilled in our day. So that's going to happen. The Son of Man will appear in the clouds, gather the elect, gather 144,000. Okay, the first fruits. Okay, 144,000 are always assembled around the Lamb, always assembled around the 4 living creatures. Always there is the order of the 24 elders. Okay, so that is what's happening. Now, the book of Revelation is understood by 14 years. Okay, so you have the coronation of the king. It takes place over 3.5 years. You have the warnings to the apostate church, the 7 ecclesia. You have the Lamb being revealed. Okay, the coronation of the king is seen in Esther chapter 1. That's the seal. He's got the key. Okay, then we have the seals. We have 7 seals. Then we have 7 trumpets. Then we have 7 bowls. Okay, this time period is 14 years, understood by the book of Esther. Now, let's look at our notes, and we're going to just blaze through some messages. You have to watch the whole message. You won't understand this video. But this is an intro. And then we're going to recommend, watch all these videos, get all these notes, okay? Now, here you can see the first 7 years. Now, this can be understood by the Lamb sits on the throne, which you see in Esther chapter 1, and then he sits on the throne 3 years, coronation of the king, okay? And after which, he holds a feast 180 days. That's 3.5 years, okay? That's our first series in the playlist. Series of that you should watch of the first 7 years. That covers 3.5 years, okay? And then now we're talking about the second 3.5 years, okay? And we can show that here. Okay, so first off, it starts off with the Lamb sits upon the throne, okay? Then that's 3.5 years, after which the Lamb opens the seals. Okay, so we open the seals in 2014. We understood that by the 4 blood moons, okay? So this is the intro video of all the events that transpire within this time period. What is this time period? It's another 3.5 years. So we go from 2014 to the sign of the woman clothed with the sun. We know with the sign of the woman clothed with the sun, she goes in the wilderness 1,260 days, 3.5 years, and she's given 2 wings of an eagle, times and half a time. That's the second 7.5 years, okay? But this intro covers the playlist associated with this. So this is the intro. We have a playlist called The Lamb Opens the Seals. That's 1 through 5. Okay, then we have the 144,000. That's a whole playlist in itself. Then we have a playlist called Esther's Preparation. Okay, Esther's Preparation, you can see here, 6 months of myrrh, 6 months of sweet odors. Okay, then we have a whole playlist on the 6th seal. Then we have a playlist on Obama in Daniel 8. Obama is the little horn of Daniel chapter 8. Okay, he's not the Antichrist, he's a pre-runner. We understand this by Daniel's timeline. Daniel's timeline also gives us events that transpire here. Okay? Now, we understand that the apocalypse is 14 years. We have many proofs on this. Here's just one example. The Holy of Holies, okay, if measured by something called the sacred cubit, we have a whole other video on this, is 42 feet. Okay? It's a perfect square, and that perfect square, the measurement of each is 42 feet. Well, those 42 feet, of course, relate to 42 months. Now, I encourage you to watch this video in this playlist. It's called Everything You Need to Know About the First 7 Years of the Apocalypse. Okay, so it covers all the 7 years that we are showing you here. Okay? Now, I do want to just mention everything that what we're doing is we're testifying to the Lamb. Okay, this is all about the Lamb. This isn't about what you think. Okay, there's a right answer to all this stuff. Okay, we have to prove it by line upon line, precept upon precept. Now, we know about this time period, like we said, through the Holy of Holies, 42 feet. Okay, in the Holy of Holies, that's a total of 14 years. 42 is 3.5 years, 3.5 years, 3.5 years, 3.5 years. Seals, 7 churches, 7 seals, 7 trumpets, 7 bowls. Okay, now we know each one by Joel 2:31. The sun shall be turned to sackcloth, the moon shall be blood. Well, that actually happens precisely to begin the 7 years. Now, 7 years also is Daniel's timeline. Daniel's timeline, we understand there's 62 weeks and 7 weeks. Those weeks can be Shavuot, or the Feast of Weeks, which happens once in a year. So if you go 1948 plus 62 weeks, you come to 2010. That's when this thing begins. Okay? What happens? The king sits upon the throne. It's the coronation of king of a 3-year feast. It's all about the king, guys. You see the king, you see the revealing of Alpha and Omega taking place in Revelation chapter 1. You see him in Daniel chapter 10, verse 5. He becomes the Ancient of Days. Revelation 1:13, Daniel 7, 9, and 13. Then the invitation to the wedding supper begins, okay? And the people refuse to answer. Okay, Vashti, the church is divorced. That's why you don't see the church mention the word ecclesia in Greek. You don't see it mentioned after Revelation chapter 3. Why? Because she's Vashti. She's divorced. She's apostate. So now we must replace her with the new queen. That's Esther. Understand? So that takes place over 3.5 years. Then we have the blood moons. We have the horse riders. White, red, black, pale. Okay? And there's a whole other video on this, guys. I'm just showing you this quickly because the one thing we can prove is that with the blood moons, we have the sun turn to sackcloth, the moon turn to blood. At the blood moons, which thus start the opening of the seals. We have the same thing beginning the tribulation, the next 7 years. August 21st, 2017, the next blood moon is a lunar eclipse. Sun to turn to sackcloth, the moon turn to blood. Now, when the Son of Man comes in the clouds, he comes in something called the chariot of the cherubim, which you can see here. The chariot of the cherubim represents 4 living creatures, lion, ox, man, eagle, and 4 wheels, okay? So that's a demonstration that you can see each one of these has the face of a man, eagle, ox, lion, okay? Now, this is seen in Revelation chapter 7. So Revelation chapter 7, we see the same thing. Now we're looking at it sideways. Basically, you see 4 angels standing, holding the 4 winds. The 4 winds are the 4 wheels. Okay, 4 wheels. Okay, and above is a throne. So you see the throne of the Lamb in Revelation chapter 6, verse 16. Revelation 7 is this arrangement. It's the throne. Okay? Now, that's what we're doing. We're testifying to the throne. So we have other videos on this. We want to just mention this pattern of the throne. Why? Because then, as it continues, you see the order of the 144,000. So, you see the 4 cherubim standing, holding the 4 winds. Okay? In the center is the Lamb. So you see the Lamb's throne. You see the 4 angels standing, holding the 4 winds, the 4 wheels. And then you see the one sealed, 144,000. Okay? So you can see they're ordered by 12. Okay? 12 tribes. So you got 12,000, 12,000, 12,000, 12,000, 12,000, 12,000, 12,000, 12,000, 12,000, etc. Okay? So this is Mount Zion. Mount Zion is not just a mountain. It's not just a place. It's people. So this is the structure of how the military is organized. Why? Because these living creatures, lion, ox, man, eagle, they commission the horse riders. White, red, black, pale. Okay? So remember, the horse riders are around the throne. Okay? They're not from the devil. That's false teaching. This is what's happening throughout the seals. You understand that? You have the 4 living creatures, lion, ox, man, eagle, holding the 4 winds, and there's 4 horse riders. Now what's amazing is everywhere I go, the Most High always confirms His word, not my word, His word, with signs. Okay, you can see where I'm staying here in Cyprus, and amazingly, this photo just appears randomly. And look at it, it's got the horses. Okay, guys, this has happened everywhere I go. I'm going to show you some other examples. Say hi. You gonna smile? You gonna smile from the camera? Huh? Well, hello there. How are you? You want an apple? Huh? Yeah, my hair's a mess. This is for you. You want another one? Okay, here we go. Look at you guys. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. All right, guys, thanks for visiting. Isn't that great? I stopped by the side of the road. We see this apple tree to pick up some apples when I was in Vermont. And these horses walked right up to me. They're like, hey. And I'm like, look at, they're red horses. There was a black one too, but I can't seem to find the video. But guys, this is amazing. This happens everywhere. So this is Cyprus. I showed you the horses here. And also, these are like my favorite places, my favorite countries, right? Cyprus. This is South Africa. In South Africa, at the Airbnb I was staying at, this is the mural on the wall. This is just the picture, okay? And the horses are speckled in Zechariah chapter 6. So you see red, black, okay, here's speckled, here you see red, here you see black, here you see white. So these are just confirmations of the seals, of the horses, okay? And I actually saw a white horse in South Africa. I was like, look at that. That is amazing. Look at that beautiful white horse. Now, this time period is also understood as the beginning of sorrows, or the birth pains. And this is what we can see in Matthew 24, where in verse 4, Christ says, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come on my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And you shall hear wars and rumors of wars, and you be that trouble, for these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places. These are the beginning of sorrows, odino in the Greek, and what this is birth pains. So this is the beginning of the birth pains, leading to the Revelation 12 sign, okay? And then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted and kill you, and you shall be hated of all for my name's sake, okay? So that's the 5th seal, okay? Remember the 5th seal, the souls that cry out from the altar. Then many shall be offended, shall betray one another. Okay, they shall hate one another. Many false prophets shall rise and deceive many. Because the iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So, that's what we're seeing right now. Many false prophets shall rise. Many deceptions. Everybody has a word from the Lord, okay? Now at the Revelation 12 sign, okay, you can see she being with child cried, travailing in birth. So that was that time period we saw her travailing, pain to be delivered. Okay, so that's the birth pain. That's the time leading up to when she births a man-child. Verse 5, she brought forth a man-child. Okay, so then when she brought forth the man-child, the woman was led in the wilderness where she had a place prepared with God. They should feed her what? 1,203 score days, or 3.5 years. Okay, after which you have Michael. Okay, then, as you can see, and the woman were given 2 wings of evil that she might fly in the wilderness into her place where she was nursed for a time, times and half a time. That's another 3.5 years. Okay, so after that sign of the woman clothed with the sun, you have 7 years, clearly. Now, further proof that the 144,000 are the army, okay, you can see that they're organized by the 12 tribes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, okay, and there's 12,000 each. Well, this you can see in something we call the House of David. 1 Chronicles 27, you see a military. The army was divided into 12 regiments with 24,000 troops. So then you see them, 24,000, 24,000, 24,000, 24,000, etc. 12 of them. Now, the virgins, there's 5 wise, 5 foolish. There's 10 total, right? Okay, so you got 5 wise, 5 foolish. Well, consider that each troop of 24,000 is both the wise and the foolish, okay? And half are wise, which is what? 12,000. So that's why we see them organized by 12,000, sealed, assembled as a camp. So there you can see the 144,000 replace the apostate church. They are Esther. Okay? Understand? So what do we have? We have 7 years. Okay? We have Vashti is divorced. The church is divorced. Okay? That's why the people don't understand this. Why? Because iniquity abounds. Now, in this playlist, you can see it's going to cover these 3.5 years. Because the Lamb opens a seal. Okay? And you have the 4 horse riders. You have the altar of souls. You have the 5th seal. And then the 6th seal. Esther's prepared. Now, no man knows the day or the hour. But the characteristics of the coming of the Son of Man in the clouds meet the description in the 6th seal. Okay? But that doesn't mean it has to happen at a particular time that we know about. Okay? So, during this time period, we have a playlist covering the events, covering the things that happen here. You know, other things like the Star of Bethlehem and other things prove Esther's preparation. Already happened. Land opened the seal. Already happened. The 144,000. Who is that? The 6th seal. Okay? Obama, he had a role. Yes. Daniel's timeline. Okay? So all these things are part of this playlist, guys. Thanks for watching. I can't emphasize enough. In the description field will be the title of this playlist, The Lamb Opened the Seals, covering 1 through 5, and then we'll have all these other playlists, 144,000, Esther, 6th seal, etc. Understand? So we're organizing the channel. We're getting this content available for you. What will happen is you will have the video, and then the diagrams and things I'm showing you, there'll be a document that you can download or view as a PDF file which accompany the messages, because it's just helpful for us to visualize what's taking place. If you do, and you kind of map it out a little bit like this, it actually begins to form a pattern instruction. Makes perfect sense, because it's just easier to see and then just read words. So guys, thanks for watching. And as we say, guys, this is it. This is the time. Fear God. Worship Him that created the heavens and the earth, the seas and the waters. Okay? Fear Him. Babylon is fallen, is fallen, is fallen.